to Chodor, and today I'll be doing my May journal, and my theme for this journal is Harry Potter. Yes, I am one of those Potterheads and I'm quite proud of it. I was thinking to do something related to Harry Potter for a long time, but I was waiting for the moment that I feel ready to do something good enough. I don't know how to describe it, but then I realized that this time will never come, so I should just go for it, like whatever I feel like, whatever I'm able to do. And here we are. In this journal, I'm gonna use different paints, like some shimmery kind of watercolor, some simple watercolor, but my main media is gonna be coffee. Yeah, you didn't hear it wrong. It's gonna be coffee. This is like regular instant coffee that I have at home. I just took like a spoon and put some hot water in it and started painting with it. I used it before in one of my journal and it turned out very nice, and I decided to use it in this one as well because you know those effects in this Harry Potter world, the colors of it like a bit vintages. I don't know how to describe it, but the coffee worked perfect with it. So here we are. So as usual, I start with putting a design on the left side of the page. There will be like lots of little tiny icons of the Harry Potters, and most of the time I'm gonna use my coffee. Sometimes I'm gonna put lots of water in it to make the color a bit lighter, and sometimes I'm just gonna use it with very few water inside, so it's gonna be quite dark and it's gonna give me like a different shade of kind of brown. And I think it's really gonna match with the concept and the rest of the color I'm gonna use, which is just a little bit of dark red, little bit of dark blue, and mostly this shimmery kind of gold color. Yep, I think it's gonna look quite okay. At least I hope. So when I was a kid, well, like most of you probably, I was a fan of Harry Potter for sure. I kind of grew with it. I read all the books maybe like 3 times and watched the movies maybe like more than 5 times. And like recently, around like 2 months ago, I reread all the books. I rewatched all the movies from the beginning. Okay, it was a bit childish at first, at these first 2-3 movies, but after that, when it become like, when he grew up and the movies start to be a bit more scary, it was still interesting, and I again and again fall in love with this series. I don't know if you think the same way, but there were no other series to compare to Harry Potter. There were no other like something good enough to pull you inside this magical world like Harry Potter did. So maybe that's why that I'm like going back and rewatching the same movies over and over, or maybe I'm just like super bored. I'm not sure, maybe both of them. Besides reading movies, I just download audiobook of them, and while I was working, I was like listening and like trying to like picture everything, because now I know all the characters and the like ambience of the movie, so it was even way easier to picture everything, and I quite enjoy. Maybe I'll do it like every 5 years again when I start to like forget about it. That's a good part of getting old. I think you just forget about the things, so you can watch your favorite movies over and over, and you can read your favorite books over and over again. Okay, I'm not that old yet, but yeah, I'm being optimistic about getting aged. As you see, I'm not putting lots of details while I paint them, but I'm like just giving a general shape with the different shades of the color. Then I'm taking this pen, which is my favorite lately. It's from Pilot 025, quite tiny. And I'm adding some border lines and little details on the paintings. Actually, I wasn't planning at all to use this Harry Potter theme on my journal, at least not yet. I was planning to do like Potter icons page, kind of like you can turn into a sticker or wallpaper, whatever you feel like. And I was like doing some sketches about it. Then I realized that I don't have like specific theme for May journal. I decided to just go for it, even that I'm a bit afraid that I'm not gonna make it as perfect as it's supposed to be, because in my mind, you know, the Potter world is quite amazing with all those details and like specific ambience of it. So it's quite hard to redraw those kind of like fantastic things again. But I believe, at least I hope deep inside, that it's gonna turn out just okay, just fine. Maybe even after this that I should do this Potter kinda sticker page or like all the icons about the Harry Potter world. What you think about it? You might like such a video? Let me know what you think about it on the comment section, please. I think the design of this page is more or less okay. I wish that I have like a very dark blue background, but my journal is not thick enough to deal with this dark watercolor on it, so I'm just gonna leave it plain like this. But if you have like thick journal, you should definitely go for like a black or dark blue background. It could make these icons even more shinier and nicer. So I'm moving on the right side of the page. I'm gonna put a little calendar of May as usual, and I'm gonna use my coffee verse to put a like kind of base. I'm gonna do it like it's a piece of old paper, and the coffee is giving the perfect effect for it. I don't have to do anything, you know. I'm just taking like a little bit of coffee with very few water because my journal is so thin. The pages are so thin, cannot deal with lots of water. That's the only thing that I'm taking care. So you should also, if you have the similar kind of paper. And the coffee itself doing in perfect effect. I'm adding like little details around to make it look a bit more 3D, a bit more like paperish. Then I'm putting my title down here with the plain black watercolor. And I tried to do this font a bit like Harry Potterish that I found in Pinterest, some Harry Potter fonts that you can take a look over there. There are like lots of quite nice samples. And here we are, good enough. After I finished my calendar, I completed the first page's design. It looks quite cute actually. I like it. Okay, let's move on to the next page. Here I'm gonna do a like huge calendar of May. I'm not gonna do a lot of design around the page, or I'm not gonna leave any empty space. I'm just gonna fit it with the calendar because I use this area to fill like some notes, plan my days as well. Like every important things that I want to remind myself is gonna take a place here. So I wanna leave it as empty as possible with very few design to distract me from my real purpose. I have no idea what is my real purpose, but yeah, that's the way I think. So I'm starting with my title, and to put my title, I'm just putting this kind of like piece of paper effect here, which I inspired from Amanda Rachel. I don't know if you know her, but she has like this bullet journal based YouTube channel, and she's like super pro about it. And her Harry Potter themed journal is quite nice. Also, if you are like into this graphic kind of design, you should take a look at her page. Anyway, I'm putting this paper kind of effect with my coffee all around the page. Actually, with the water, the page is a bit getting wavy-ish, but I can just iron it when I'm done with it if it's so annoying. But for the moment, I'm using very few water, so it's still okay, still not like damaging the journal much. But you should take care also, if you don't have like very thick papers, you should not put lots of water, then it can even like put a hole on your pages and destroy all your design. After I put coffee almost all around the page, I'm gonna write down my title, May, and I'm just using coffee with very few water in it, so it's giving this dark brown kind of effect. And with this dark brown coffee thing and with my pen, I'm adding some more details to make it more like 3D and adding some drop shadows around also, and it turned out quite nice actually. I'm doing the same thing around the page, all around the page actually, but still you see it's a bit so faded. It needs some color inside, so I'm taking this dark red and I'm spotting the weekends with it. I don't have to write down the days for the weekend anyway. There will be like the day before and the day after, so I'm not gonna be super confused about it, hopefully. I put some dark red on my title as well because it seems so faded too. Like this, it's better. And I'm using my palette pen again to divide the sections a bit, but I'm not putting like very sharp lines. I'm just adding tiny lines like it was a piece of paper and it being folded from there. That kind of effect more or less, and it worked out very well actually. I can see like they clearly divided from each other, so that's what I wanted to do. After I fill my calendar, put the dates, I'm putting some this like coffee splitting effect on it to make it look like it's a piece of old paper, and it turned out quite nice. I'm happy with this page too. I can move on to the next one. On this page, I'm gonna put my habit tracker. I'm using it regularly and find it quite useful, but this month I'm gonna change the design a bit because it's Harry Potter theme, so it should be a bit specific, right? Anyway, I'm starting with my title. On the title, I'm trying to use this Harry Potter kind of font that I found from the Pinterest, and it turned out quite cute. I really enjoyed doing it. It's not super hard to do these fonts and it looks like just fine. And I'm still using my coffee and the color is just perfect. After my title, I'm going down of the page and preparing kind of background for the titles of my habits. And now I'm taking kind of light gray and putting general shape for my habit trackers. I'm gonna explain you how it's gonna work, even though it's quite self-explanatory. Every day for the habits that I'm following, I'm just gonna go to the section of the habit and gonna add one like galleon, one kind of like piece of gold coins inside. You can actually divide those sections by the like dates, put the numbers of the days as well. But I'm just gonna leave it like this, just add the coins and see by the end of the month who is the winner. I don't know, it just makes me feel like it's gonna motivate me a bit more. I'm gonna try to like fill all the sections as much as possible. And when you see my habits like it's work out, eat clean, be social and do like self-care, those all like good things for me, especially while we're home and it's quite hard to motivate yourself. I think those kind of section and those kind of design can really help us to find motivation. So my habits are work out, actually I just put work. Food, it means like eat clean. Social, when I get social even through the FaceTime, that is being social as well. And care, for self-care, because I really like don't wanna forget to brush my hair or put some makeup or put some face mask or at least look pretty for myself, because while you're home you really forget about it and it's really bring your mood down. So it's quite important to do some self-care days, at least for me it does. I'm done with the design of left side, so I'm moving on to the right side. The top part is gonna be video planner and the bottom gonna be ideas. This page is dedicated to YouTube, so I'm planning all my videos in advance and when I'm gonna publish, what I'm gonna do, etc. You can just adjust it up to your work or your school. After I put my title, I am taking my coffee and putting lots of water in it to have it a bit more lighter shade and painting the half of the page. So this section gonna be a video planner one, and the bottom side is gonna be for the ideas. As I told you before, you can just use like piece of paper here. You can just cut from somewhere else instead of painting your journal if your journal is not strong enough to deal with the water. Now I'm adding some drop shadow and like 3D kind of effect around it to make it look a bit nicer. And as you see that even little details just make it look way nicer than it was before. I am adding a little wand on the corner and splashing some coffee to make it a bit more magical, I can say. Yeah, it's a bit like old effect mixed with magic effect. I don't know. I quite like it. And I come to the end of the design of those pages as well. It's quite simple as you see, but I like it this way. I'm gonna fill inside with the writing, so it doesn't have to be so complicated and full of design all around. And here on the left section, I'm gonna put weekly planner. I'm using this section for a couple months now, and I find it quite useful because, you know, I have lots of tasks to do during maybe a month, and when I like write them down all together, it's quite frustrating and it scares me a bit because there are lots of things and I feel like I can't deal with it. But by this section, by weekly planner, I'm just dividing those tasks to the weeks, so it looks more doable and it's quite motivating me. In the beginning of week, I'm just writing down what I should done by the end of the week, and every day I'm just opening, checking what I should do, and it really helped me to organize my week. So as you see, I'm using another simple design on this page. I'm just putting those empty frames that I inspired from the movie, of course. I was thinking to do a bit more detailed frames, but I was actually bored, to be honest. So I keep them as simple as possible, and I just try to use different color and different shades of the colors to make them look a bit original, and it already looks quite nice. I wasn't sure about this page. I was thinking it's gonna be a bit lame, but it's not as lame as I thought. After I add like little shadows and the tiny details around it, they look quite good, and I'm moving on to my last page. This one is super new and it's quite affected by the corona. Yep. Normally I never did such a section in my journal, but right now we all trapped at home and we all become like master chefs. All we do is like cook non-stop and eat. At least that's what I do. I'm cooking a lot and I'm eating a lot. And sometimes when I cook, I forget the recipes after and I feel bad because while I'm cooking, I'm being spontaneous. I'm just mixing stuffs that I forget later. Then I feel so bad because I quite like what I do, but I don't remember what I exactly did while I was cooking. So this section is gonna be dedicated to recipes. I'm gonna divide it to 3 pieces and do like little tiny design around it to make it a bit cute. And when I found some recipes that I quite like, I'm just gonna write it down here. Actually, first I fell in love with the idea of designing this page because look at it, it looks so cute. And I thought that it might be actually useful also. As you see, I'm putting like different kind of design around, and I'm adding some veggie drawings. I'm putting some like kind of empty book here, so you can adjust the design as you wish. And after you write your recipe down, you can just come and draw the ingredients here also, like there are like 2 tomatoes, 2 carrots, blah blah blah. It can be quite fun to organize this page, I think. After I'm done with my painting and little details, we come to end of the May bullet journal. Thank you guys a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and you like my design. If you do the same, please make sure that you send it to me on Instagram. I'll see you guys very soon on the next video. Ciao!